Welcome back, children, to the second part of our Class 10 Political Science, Chapter 6 Political Parties. In the previous part, we have tried to understand why do we need political parties. Then we try to understand the meaning of the political parties, that is, when the political parties formed, and also the characteristics of the political parties. And who are partisans? What is their role or importance in the political parties? And last but not the least, the three components of the political parties. That is, the leaders, the active members, and the followers. Today we will have a close look on the functions of the political parties and the necessity of the political parties. In the functions, we are going to cover how the parties contest elections, how parties propose the different policies and the programs to the people of the country. Then, what is the role of the parties in making laws? How the parties form the government and run the government. What is the role of the parties in the opposition, or which parties they form opposition, they come under opposition, right? Then we will try to understand how the parties shape the public opinion. And then, last but not the least, how the parties provide the people access to the government machinery and welfare. So, children, let us first see how the parties contest elections. The main function of the political party is to occupy the political offices and to exercise the political power. So, first of all, the parties contest election. In most of the democratic countries, elections are fought mainly among the candidates nominated by the political parties in various constituencies, that is, in specified areas. Now, the parties select their candidate in different ways. In some countries, like USA, the members and the supporters of a party choose its candidates. In the present day, more and more countries are following this method. Similarly, in the countries like India, the top leaders choose the candidates for contesting the election. Right, children? Now let us see how the political parties propose different policies and programs for the people of the country. The political parties put forward different policies and programs and then allow the voters to choose from them. Everyone may have different opinions and views on what policies are suitable for the society. Not a single government will be in a position to handle such a large variety of views and opinions. As a result, a political party brings a large number of similar opinions under one roof. Now, these opinions are channelized to form the policies and programs. That is what the parties do. A party reduces a vast multitude of opinions into a basic positions which it supports. The policies and programs of the ruling party, that is, the party which is in power, are expected to be followed by the government. Now, only making policies is not the role of the ruling party, but also making laws for the country is the decisive role played by the parties. But these laws are debated and passed in the legislature, that is, in the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Here, the bills before becoming a law for the country is debated and then passed in the Lok Sabha first and then in the Rajya Sabha. Since most of the members belong to a party, that is ruling party, they go by the decision of the party leadership, irrespective of their personal opinions. Now children, the next function is the formation of the government. That is, the parties form and run the governments. The political party that wins the majority in the election forms a government, and therefore such a party is called a ruling party. The ruling party then forms and runs the government and takes all the important decisions related to the country. That is, the political executives that comes from the political parties make decisions on the big policies. The parties, they recruit the leaders, train them and make them ministers who implement the policies of the government. Similarly, we have to understand the role of the oppositions as well. Those parties that lose in the elections form the opposition party. They keep a check on the ruling party. Opposition parties criticize the ruling party if it implements a policy that is not in favor of the people of the country. The opposition party also ensures that the ruling party does not misuse its power. That is, they mobilize the opposition to the government, to the ruling government. Now let us see how the political parties shape or form the public opinion. The political parties raise and highlight the issues. That is, they discuss various issues like the issues of terrorism, triple talaq, CAA, etc. The issues facing the country. Discuss their policies and form a public opinion on it. The parties have lakhs of members and the activists spread all over the country. The pressure groups associated with the parties inform the public about their various matters. The parties sometimes launch the movements for the problems of the countries. As I said earlier, the problems like terrorism, CAA, etc. and mobilize the mass support for various issues to resolve the problems faced by the government. Now let us see how the parties provide people access to the government machinery and welfare schemes that are implemented by the governments. The political parties, they form a link between the public and the government. Now this is what we have studied in your earlier class also, that is in your class 9th also. The leaders are answerable to the people for the policies followed by their party. It is easy for the ordinary citizen to approach a local party leader than the government officials to raise their demands. That is the reason why they feel close to the parties even though they do not fully trust them. The parties have to resolve the problems faced by the people or the needs of the people. The leaders cannot ignore their concerns. Otherwise, the public may not or might not vote them in the next elections. So, children, we have covered all the functions of the political parties. Somewhere, this list of the functions served us the need to understand that we need political parties because they perform all these functions. But still, we have a question. Why modern democracies cannot exist or cannot survive without the political parties? To understand the necessity of the political parties, we can imagine a situation of without any parties. That is, every candidate in the election will be contesting independently. Condition would be that no one will be able to make any promises to the people about any major changes in the policies. The government may be formed somehow, but how long will always remain uncertain. Elected representatives will be accountable to his or her constituency for what they do in their locality. But unfortunately, no one will be responsible for how the country will run. We can understand this better by considering the situation at a non-party based elections to the panchayat in many states. Though the parties do not contest formally, it is generally noticed that the village gets split into more than one faction, and each one puts up a panel of its candidates. Now, this is exactly what the party does. And that is the reason why we need or we find political parties in almost all the countries of the world. Whether the countries are big or small, old or new, developed or developing. The rise of the political parties is directly linked to the emergence of the representative democracy. As we have seen, the large scale societies need representative democracy. And therefore, as societies became larger and complex, they also needed some agencies to gather different views and opinions on various issues to present these to the government. They needed some ways to bring various representatives together so that a responsible government is formed. They needed a mechanism to support or to restrain the government, make policies, justify the policies, or sometimes oppose the policies. The political parties fulfill these needs that every representative government has, and hence we can say that the parties are a necessary condition for a democracy. So, children, in this part of our chapter, we have tried to understand each functions of the political parties, enabling us to understand the necessity of the political parties in the democratic countries, irrespective whether the country is big or small, old or new, developed or developing. Now, in the next part of our chapter, we will try to understand how many parties should we have, as in the democracy, any group of citizens is free to form the political parties. But we have to see how these parties or how far these parties are effective or good for democracy. Till we meet next, please read the chapter well, children, up to whatever we have covered. Till then, take good care of your health and have a good day.